Hola, how is everyone doing? I'm Delicia de Maria Alarcón Esteche, and I am going to be your host for College and Career Coffee Chats with Delicia. I'm going to be your host, and we're going to talk about all things college and career. I wanted to re-record the trailer. Today is December 14th. 2020, a total solar eclipse, and a lot is happening in the universe, in astros, in our society, in our world. I am in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, so in the northeast of the United States. I grew up in New Jersey, so I am a Jersey girl at heart, forever and ever. And my family is from Paraguay, Asunción, Paraguay, Oleari, Acaay, different parts of Paraguay is where my family comes from. I am a first generation Latina, proud of my Paraguayan American heritage. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my background and why I wanted to start this podcast and why I chose to re-record it today live in real time with what's happening in the world. So my background is in education, higher education. I worked as a Spanish teacher in South Carolina and did through Teach for America. Then I worked in higher education as a program coordinator at the University of Scranton as a multicultural center program coordinator. And at Fairfield University, which is where I graduated from, I worked as an academic counselor in the TRIO Student Support Services program called Project Excel on campus, and was under the umbrella of Career and Development Center during my time there. And then I started my American Studies master's degree on campus at Fairfield, where during that program, through the research, the opportunity to apply for a Fulbright grant presented itself. So I applied for the English teaching assistantship, where I was awarded this grant in 2018, and I spent my time in Brazil for a year. And when I came back, I was navigating whether I go to graduate school, continue my master's program, get my PhD, get my law degree, or pivot and transition to corporate America. And then life kind of gave me what my next step was. My mom fell down the stairs, broke her leg. So I was found at home as a professional stay-at-home daughter, where I was supporting her through her recovery. And during this time, it was deep reflection in true Jesuit fashion, right? I graduated from Fairfield University, where we learn to really reflect on our experiences and figure out and take all of that with us to navigate the next step. So I realized that I wanted to really be in an online space with students where I can support them one-on-one and continue kind of this academic counselor role, program coordinator. And I decided to merge my three favorite jobs in undergrad, which were first year mentor, orientation leader, and information desk attendant. I merged all of those together and I created Delilingo Academy, which is where I'm a career coach and academic advisor and motivator for high school students, college students, and recent graduates. In addition to that, diversity and inclusion educator, where I support small businesses, individuals in creating a diverse and inclusive work environment and supporting them with education as it relates to intersectionality, microaggressions, HR policies, and all these different gamuts of what you need to create an inclusive environment, not only in academics, but in a small business, for example. So those are kind of the touch points of my experiences. I love to travel. I studied abroad in Australia and Spain in my undergraduate experience. And I spent a lot of time navigating different cultures. I lived in Paraguay as well when I was younger during my formative middle school and high school years. So I really am connected to that deep heritage in my community in Paraguay. So I say all of this because I want to give you a background as to who I am and why I wanted to start this podcast. So hit quarantine, hit all of these experiences, and we're all navigating this online new environment and how to show up in this space through academia, through career coaching, through career development. And I wanted to create a community where people could feel seen, feel heard, and feel like they are a part of something and part of a community. So that is why I created this. But college and career coffee chats, it's more than just me talking and sharing my experiences. It's going to be networking and connecting and interviewing other people in their different career moments, right? So people are at different points in their career. Students are at different points in their undergraduate experience or graduate experience. So I am taking time to connect with them, interview them, and not kind of an interview of where it's the networking, LinkedIn type of interview. It's more of a coffee chat, right? I love coffee. I love iced coffee is my favorite. For today, I have some hazelnut brewed coffee to share with you all as I re-record this trailer to get you an idea as to why I did this. And this is where we're going to talk about all things imposter syndrome, first generation life, how to navigate undergrad, how to navigate graduate school, how to navigate application processes, how to navigate working with colleagues from different backgrounds. How do you navigate these systems that we are new to as first generation students? Even if you're second generation, third generation, whatever you identify as, these systems have their own hidden rules. They have a little game that you have to play in order to navigate them. So as an educator, as an edutainer, as an edupreneur, however you want to identify me as, I'm pulling back the layers and opening these doors of gatekeeping that exists in these communities to really demystify the ivory tower that exists in higher education. And I want to talk about what it means to be a higher education professional. Is that something that students want to be in? If they want to navigate that career, if they want to go in that path, and let's talk about it. Right? There's departments in career, in the different departments of a university, right? Finance, study abroad, all these departments that have employees and staff are part of the functioning of a higher education institution. It's not only professors and staff that are faculty, right? Tenure, adjunct professor, all the different layers of those departments. There are other people who work in these communities like orientation, first year experience, that help you navigate your life on campus. So I want to demystify that. I want to bring that to life. I want to explain what that means. And I want this to be a place where you can ask questions and not feel afraid to ask them, right? Sometimes we go into the financial aid office or our academic advisor office, and we don't know what to say or what to ask or how to even write an email to them. That is okay. I want this space and this community to help you navigate all those different pieces, right? I want you to see this as a mentorship, as a place where you can find a mentor, find a friend, find a colleague that can help you navigate and work through these experiences. Because if you ultimately choose college as your next step or graduate school as your next step, or any career in entertainment, in law, in finance, in one of the big four accounting firms, whatever that looks like, I want this to be a hub where you can find someone in those spaces and actually talk to them behind this veil of professional networking. Of course, there's a place and time for all of that. But when you're just trying to figure it out, it's like, can I just talk to someone? Right? I just want to talk to someone over a coffee, right? So I have lots of ideas and lots of fun things planned. But for right now, get to know me, get to know this community, and listen in on our coffee chats. So now that you have a background as to why that is happening and why this is and how this is taking form, I want to share why I decided to re-record this trailer in this episode for you, to get a glimpse as to who Delicia is, who my family is, who my community mentors are, so you get an idea of what this is all about. So yesterday or Saturday, I don't remember, the Wall Street Journal article talking about Dr. Jill Biden and her title as a doctor was, I'm not going to read about it. I'm not going to talk extensively about who wrote the article. I'm not even going to mention his name because you can Google that. However, that article really sparked a conversation on social media, in our communities of academics, our communities of students. And it really brought up this fact that undermining women especially women of color who receive a doctorate degree or a master's degree or any level of higher education, and that essentially it's not enough. That because it's not a medical degree, a medical doctorate, it's not enough. And I really, really had to sit with this article and think about it, because obviously there's a lot of misogynistic, sexist things that are underlying in there. But I want to take it a step further and say, yes, he wrote this article. However, what about all the people that had to proofread it, all the people that had to edit it and had to go through this pipeline for it to get edited? I'm not sure what the internal workings are of Wall Street Journal are. However, that tells me there's more than one person that need to do the work, that need to figure out how do we create a more inclusive environment for this article to even be published and made available for people to read and disseminated as good content. I am really, really processing this in real time with you as this trailer on this podcast, because it is a direct correlation to this podcast and the students and the people and the community that I want to serve through these conversations. So I want to have a dialogue with you. If you're listening in or watching this on YouTube, write down your comments. How did that make you feel? How did that article make you feel? Your gut reaction. My gut reaction was, who does he think he is? He does not know the experiences of first-generation students. He does not know the experience of under-resourced, underrepresented individuals. He definitely does not know the experience of a woman like Jill Biden, Dr. Jill Biden. She worked extremely hard for that doctorate, as everyone else who works for it and gets it. So I want to take a moment and really acknowledge that, because I support students who are thinking about a master's program or thinking about a PhD program or thinking about a certification or an MBA or a pivot in their career or negotiating their salary to move up in their career and wherever they are in their journey. And an article like this can really, really send someone into a rabbit hole of unworthiness, of feeling self-doubt, of feeling like they cannot accomplish their dream because this dude on the internet is releasing an article at a major publication to talk about this. This is not okay. And I'm here to tell you, if you're listening, that you can get your PhD and you will be respected. You're going to get your master's and you're going to be respected, and you're going to demand that respect, because you put in so much hard work to get your degree, right? I'm wearing a little tiny graduation cap to keep you motivated and keep you in that mindset, because my mom got me this from a little stuffed animal to graduate with me, because, you know, we all graduated when I graduated. I even have my diploma here, right? Not the actual diploma, but what they gave me in this little baton, right? So when the university president passes you this, when you're graduating on the stage, I don't care if it's high school, middle school, kindergarten, undergrad, graduate school, whatever it is, this means something. This culminates in your experience and all the hard work that you put into it. And of course, in 2020, we saw a lot of students were not able to graduate, and I really graduate with their ceremony. And I really feel for that, because this means something. It symbolizes the hard work, not only of the individual receiving this degree and this diploma, but the families who supported them, the mentors who supported them, the friends who supported them. I had so many friends who helped me through this experience. We were in the library until 2 a.m., 3 a.m., writing our papers, writing our thesis statements, our 50-page honors paper. That's hard work. So to have some dude on the internet say that it's not good enough, oh my God, we have to find a way to take that article, which I'm going to call it manure in this case, and utilize it as compost, utilize it as the irrigation and fertilization that you put in the field to irrigate your crops, right? We're going to take this negative energy that he has transmuted into the world. We're going to grab that and we're going to put in our toolbox as a reminder of transmuting this into something positive, transmuting it into fuel, into motivation to keep going because you can and you deserve it. And you need to be in these spaces as Latina, as first generation, as typically underrepresented community, however you want to identify as, you need to be in these spaces for what? To then begin to dismantle what the misogyny looks like, to dismantle what sexism is, what racism is. We have to be in these spaces in order to open the gatekeeping, dismantle the ivory tower, and be in these communities to uplift those who need it. So this is why I started this podcast and why I'm re-recording this trailer. Because when I heard that, I thought of all of my students. I had over 200 students teaching Spanish. I have advised over 500,000 students throughout my career as a high school tutor, as an undergraduate tutor, as a Spanish teacher, as an academic counselor, and now as a career coach. I have heard time and time again, students not feeling motivated, feeling self-doubt because of people like this who wrote this article and undermine someone who has a doctorate in front of her name. And when you're introduced at a conference, this has happened several times to me too. I don't have my doctorate yet. But if you're at a conference, I've heard it time and time again, when they introduce all the men on the panel as Dr. So-and-so, and they get to the woman who has her doctorate and has published many articles as her first and last name. Or if if they want to be more formal, they say Mrs. or Miss and their last name. What about the doctorate? Did you forget about that? So get that doctorate, get that master's, get that JD. If those are the things you don't want, fine. That's okay. You don't need to be in academia, but do what you want to do. You want to start that podcast? You want to start that YouTube channel? You want to start that side hustle, whatever you want to call it. You want to write a book? You want to write an article? You want to write an op-ed against this Washington Post, Washington Street Journal article? Do it. Why? Because we need it. And this is why I started this podcast, because I want to motivate you. I want to inspire you. I want you to hear other people who are in this community with us rooting for you. I have interviewed assistant professors, provosts, lawyers who are in the field, entertainment industry professionals, higher education professionals, DACA recipients, people who work in policy and research, who work in the Foreign Service, people from all walks of life, undergraduate students, master's level students who are experiencing academia right now during these tough times. And we're going to talk about all the things, all the things. So, my friends, if you're listening, if you made it to this point of the conversation, make sure you grab your coffee, your tea, your energy drink, or if it's after hours, a glass of wine, whatever floats your boat, to join in on these hard conversations and motivate each other. Because we need it. Let's cheers together on this college and career coffee chat. And I hope you join me as we continue to talk about all these topics. I'm a product of many people, my family, my friends, my community, my abuelos, right? My abuelo Mario, who started a movement in Paraguay, Movimiento 14 de Mayo, during the Stroessner dictatorship. My abuelo Pedro, who is an entrepreneur through and through. He had a 5th grade education, and he started his business in Ocay, Paraguay, a small town. My abuelo Pilo, who is also an entrepreneur, a community organizer. He gave land for schools and community centers to be built, for the church to be built in Oleari, Juan E. Oleari in Paraguay. My abuela Victoria, who managed this entrepreneurial spirit that my abuelo Pedro had. These were my great-grandparents on my mom's side. I honor them in this podcast. And of course, my abuela Delicia, who is still a teacher for all of us in our family. She retired a couple years ago from her formal teaching, but she's still an educator. She taught 5th and 6th grade. My abuela Maria, she is still here with me, and my abuela Delicia. She helped my abuelo Pilo manage his shop, his land. She raised 7 children. She is also an educator and entrepreneur. So I am here in my family's library filming this trailer again because I needed to be rooted in my grandfather's books, in Paraguay, my heritage, in my own Spanish major honors thesis, blood, sweat, and tears, my friends. I had to ground myself in that. I needed to ground myself in the books that I love to read, in the authors that I listen to and I read about, Paulo Freire, Angela Davis, Michelle Alexander. All of these authors, there are many more, obviously. Cheryl Strayed, Elizabeth Gilbert, many, many authors who have formed who I am. So, again, I'm Delicia Alarcón. I'm going to be your host on this podcast. I hope you join me on this journey. Until the next episodes. Of course, my parents, my greatest teachers, my greatest educators, my brother, who joins me in all my adventures and my journeys. He supports me and guides me and grounds me as well. So this podcast is for my students, for colleagues, for anyone who finds it to join in on these conversations, feel supported, feel loved, and feel enough to really, really strive for your dreams, whether they're collegiate, whether they're academic, whether they're entrepreneurship, whether they're gaming, whether it's dancing, acting, singing, art, writing, whatever that calling is for you. I hope this space serves as motivation and inspiration. So I can't wait for you to be on this journey with me so we can continue these conversations, and stay tuned for the next episodes. I have some good ones coming up for you in season 1. And then we'll go from there. Until next time, my friends, thank you for listening. And I'm going to have a lot of resources for you, a lot of trainings. So make sure you join in the Facebook group and download all the fun goodies that I've created as gifts from me to you, from my experiences, that you can find on my website, www.deliciaalarcon.com. If you didn't catch it, it'll be in the show notes. Follow me on Instagram, Delicia D. Alarcón, or TikTok if you want to see me dance and bust a move, at TikTok Career Coach. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Delilingo Academy. So, can't wait to have you. Let's have some coffee. Let's have some fun. Let's dance. And let's make our dreams come true. Cheers.